Hey Canucks fans, I hate to ask this question, but is the career of Micheal Ferland over? I'm Clay Emo, I'm at Canuck Clay on Twitter, I'm at Clayton Emo on Instagram. I'm the founder of the GLCPC, the Good Looking Canucks Positivity Club, and this is my Canucks take, all in one take. It's Clay's Canucks commentary for Saturday, February the 15th. And whatever you did yesterday, if you're with someone, if you're not with someone, if you celebrate or not, I hope you had a good Valentine's Day and a good Valentine's Day night. I could not volunteer at the Dice and Ice as much as I wanted to because I think my marriage is more important, and I think most husbands would agree with that. Although I also wanted to go to SmackDown, although that was below Dice and Ice in my priorities. But again, I like my marriage, so I had a really enjoyable night, dinner, and just hanging out with my wife Gail. My wife Gail of 19 and a half years. We celebrate 20 years this July, and I certainly want to make it there. In all seriousness, no, it was pretty much a no-brainer, and it just happened that all these other cool things happened to fall on the same night. But if you saw my Twitter account, you saw that I met Heath Slater and Curtis Axel at a Japanese restaurant in Richmond, so that was kind of cool. Unfortunately, they weren't used on the SmackDown card last night, so while the show was winding up, I looked over 2 tables to my left, and there they were. So we had a nice little chat. They were very genuine, very classy, very humble, and very accommodating when I asked them for one picture. So for those of you who like wrestling, I said we're the new and improved 3-man band. Heath Slater really liked that. Or I said we were the C team, and Curtis Axel liked that as well. And not just because my name starts with C, but you know, they have the B team. Okay, enough wrestling talk. Let's talk about Vancouver Canucks. They didn't get great news on the injury front yesterday. 2 things. Number one, it was announced early in the morning that Brock Boeser, right, he basically was eligible to play tomorrow against Anaheim if he came off the IR, but Travis Green said, no, he's not ready yet, and he's going to see doctors this weekend. So hopefully he was seeing also doctors throughout the week, but it sounds like it was more of a check-in, an evaluation or reevaluation, and he's definitely not going to be ready to go for tomorrow. So that's concerning from a few aspects, of course. The number one for Brock Boeser overall in his long-term, short-term health, we want him to be well, and secondly, we need him on the ice. Although the Canucks have won in the 2 games without him, both Sedin game nights, so maybe Sedin week nights. So obviously the Canucks play well on these type of nights. Opening night, Burrows night, and now the 2 Sedin games, beating, of course, Nashville on Monday and beating Chicago on that memorable Wednesday night. But obviously we are a much better team with Boeser in the lineup. So I saw a video of him shaking hands at the Dice and Ice event last night. So hopefully his wrist, it's probably his wrist and his fingers are okay. It still could be his arm or his shoulder. It's not like I saw him giving massive hugs to people and stuff. So maybe it's something up here, his shoulder, or hopefully not his neck, but more of his shoulder and maybe upper arm. Who knows? But we'll wait to hear with much anticipation of positive news, more news about Boeser's injury going forward. So at least for the short term and the very short term, tomorrow afternoon's game against Anaheim, do not expect to see Brock Boeser in the lineup. The more important news, although it probably affects the team less on the ice only because he hasn't played that much, but the more important news and the concerning news is that of Micheal Ferland. He was pulled from yesterday's game, last night's game, the Utica game, after the first period because of concussion-like symptoms. And we all know that how hard he's worked to get back. I feel bad. I'm gutted for him. I feel horrible. I'm not even frustrated. And Rick Dollywell tweeted something just 5 minutes before I started recording this, saying that his agent says, Ferland's agent said that he's in Utica, still being monitored. And the agent said something like, if fans are frustrated, or if it's frustrating for the fans, imagine how Ferland feels. And while I don't dispute that, I think it's really important to note that, at least for me, I'm not frustrated at all. Of course, I want him on the ice, but I'm more concerned. I'm more worried for his overall welfare. I don't know much about his personal life, if he's seeing someone or if he's married. I don't think he has kids. I don't think he's married, but I could be corrected. But he has to think of his family, either immediate family or potential family or future family. He's got to think of a spouse and kids, and he's got to think about his overall, lifestyle and quality of life. So I'm not going to fret that he's not playing in the Canucks lineup, for the playoff run. And I don't care about, in the big picture, who the Canucks get or what they have to get for, because they think they're missing toughness in their lineup. I'm concerned about Micheal Ferland, the man. And he's 27 years old, and he's basically a third through his life. I want him to have a good second 2/3 of his life, if that makes sense. So, I've been praying for him lots, praying for his health lots, and it's just really, really concerning. And this year, he's only played 14 games. He started the season, he played 12 straight. Didn't really look right, but I can't say that was because of concussion. Didn't look right, and after 12 games, he only had a few points. And then he got his concussion in that fight against Kyle Clifford of the LA Kings, now Toronto Maple Leafs. And then he worked hard to come back, and he played 2 games, and then he only lasted 2 games, and then he got pulled with concussion-like symptoms again. And then now he's been working really hard to get back. It's been 2 months now. Then he goes down to Utica. He's going to play 2 or 3 games, then hopefully join the team. And he doesn't even last 1 period. He basically makes it to the midway point of the first period. So obviously very concerning. And as we learn more about concussions, and I read a really good article by David Quadrelli when he was writing for the Canuck Way, and he interviewed one of the concussion experts in the city, Dr. Rosenblatt, and they were talking about how you don't necessarily have to have a hit to the head to get a concussion, especially if it's a recurring one. It could be a jarring motion to the body or whatever it may be. And many of you know, thankfully, I've only suffered 1, but I have had 1 concussion. It was pretty bad. I suffered during hockey, and it was a pretty scary situation. And I've always been kind of weary of contact since then. You never know, right? And so I can't completely empathize what Micheal Ferland is going through, but I can a little bit in that I have gone through, and I know many of you out there, athletes or not, have probably gone through similar things. So I think you'd agree with me that the overall concern is for his health overall. I don't worry about the contract we signed him to. I don't worry about that the Canucks got damaged goods. No, they didn't get damaged goods. He's had 2 concussions. Well, I guess I shouldn't say that so flippantly. If the Canucks did get damaged goods, I doubt they were aware of it. Otherwise, why would you sign him? Ferland has had 2 concussions before, one in the 2014-15 season, and then another one in the 2017-18 season. But then when you look at his, and I'm sure many hockey players have had at least 2 concussions, if not more, sadly. But if you look at Ferland's games played in the last 4 years, there was nothing to be concerned about. It was, I think, 2 seasons of 77 games, another 74 and a 71. So in the last 4 seasons, he had consistently played 70 games or more. And yeah, that usually means 1 or 2 minor injuries, but nothing major, obviously, if he played 70 of the 82 games. And most Canucks fans would take that just because of the way he plays. You expect him to get dinged up once in a while. But this is really concerning. And I don't, like I said, we'll see if this moves the Canucks. I know a lot of people are saying, oh, the Canucks shouldn't have signed him. Oh, this is going to force them into trading for Wayne Simmons. I don't worry about any of that today. Today, I worry about Micheal Ferland. And I pray for him, and I'm concerned that this, you guys know, I stay away from clickbait titles or anything like that, at least intentionally. But I do think, like, if he's working this hard and then he comes back, I'm not going to close the door on his career, but I don't think it's a good look when he's being shut down for the 3rd time this season. Not shut down, but you know what I mean, where he's going to miss time, a considerable amount of time probably, for at least the 3rd time this season. Who knows, he might even finish this season with only 14 games, and that is certainly very concerning. So I hope you understand my heart. I didn't make that title for clickbait. I made the title because that's what I'm feeling right now. I feel that there's a good possibility that Micheal Ferland's career is over at 27 years old. It would be a shame, it would be very sad, but I don't worry about his legacy or his potential or anything like that. I worry about him on the ice. I mean, I don't worry about his legacy potential. I worry about him as a human being, as a family man, as someone who wants to build a family, as someone who needs to have a good quality of life going forward outside of hockey. So there we go, Canucks fans. Let me know. Do you think I'm being over dramatic, or do you think I'm being realistic? Do you share my same concern about Micheal Ferland and his career and the potential that it may be over already? But we'll see. You know, I always say with injuries, we expect the worst, but we hope for the best. I'm sure this will be monitored and talked about over the next little bit, and how this affects the Canucks from a hockey business standpoint. Let's talk about that another day. So Canucks fans, let me know what you think. Leave a comment below. Tell me what you think about Micheal Ferland, about Brock Boeser, and wrestling if you want. I love to engage with you once again on this long weekend, at least here in BC or in Canada, Family Day weekend. So leave a comment below. Love to read, react, and reply. Subscribe if you'd like to. Like this video if you'd like to. Enjoy the day. Canucks in Anaheim. There's Mickey. Canucks in Anaheim tomorrow at Rogers Arena, the final game of the 3-game Sedin week. Have a great day. God bless. Go Canucks, go.